Welcome to the Florida Department of Transportation's public hearing for the State Road 544, Lucerne Park Road, Project Development and Environment, or PD&E study. We appreciate your attendance and participation. This public hearing is being conducted to give the public the opportunity to review and provide comments on the proposed preferred alternative and associated effects on the social, economic, cultural, natural, and physical environment. The purpose of this PD&E study is to evaluate engineering and environmental data and document information that will aid FDOT District 1 and the FDOT Office of Environmental Management, or OEM, in determining the type, preliminary design, and location of the proposed improvements. The study begins at Martin Luther King Boulevard and extends approximately 8 miles in Polk County to State Road 17. State Road 544 traverses 3 jurisdictions: the City of Winter Haven, Polk County, and Haines City. State Road 544 plays an important role in the regional network by providing east-west access for a growing area of east-central Polk County. The department proposes to widen this segment of State Road 544. The need for the proposed improvements for State Road 544 is to improve operational conditions and to accommodate projected travel demand, enhance mobility options and multimodal access, and support economic development. The proposed widening of State Road 544 meets the objectives of the Polk Transportation Planning Organization, TPO, Long Range Transportation Plan, or LRTP, in transforming this corridor into a complete street. At this time, the proposed State Road 544 widening project is identified in the Polk TPO 2045 LRTP Cost Feasible Plan through construction. Segment 1 from Martin Luther King Boulevard to Avenue Y is identified in the Transportation Improvement Plan, TIP, and the State Transportation Improvement Plan, STIP, with funding in fiscal year 2025 for design and 2027 for right-of-way and construction. Within the project limits, State Road 544 is classified as a 2-lane urban minor arterial from Martin Luther King Boulevard to US 27 and is a 4-lane undivided urban collector from US 27 to State Road 17. The roadway features 2 12-foot travel lanes with turn lanes at intersections along the corridor. Approaching State Road 17, the roadway features 4 travel lanes, 2 in each direction. Paved shoulders are present on the majority of the corridor. The roadway also features an open drainage system. However, curbs and gutters exist from Martin Luther King Boulevard to Avenue Y, from La Vista Drive to State Road 17, and in other areas where sidewalks are present. Marked bicycle lanes exist on both sides of the roadway from just west of Brenton Manor Avenue to just east of US 27. The posted speed limit ranges from 35 miles per hour to 55 miles per hour. Existing right-of-way widths vary from as little as 50 feet up to 170 feet wide. Throughout this PD&E study process, FDOT has looked at many different concepts to widen the existing 2 lanes of State Road 544 to 4 lanes, and for opportunities to include multimodal improvements. After environmental and engineering analysis and public and agency comments, many of these alternatives were eliminated. The last public meeting was an Alternatives Public Information meeting held on February 8, 2022. At that meeting, we asked for your input on proposed improvements. Some of the feedback received included a preference for a 4-lane roadway, attention to traffic volumes at the east end of the project area, concerns regarding future traffic volumes and potential noise, and community access and signal placement. Based on your comments and additional environmental and engineering analysis, a preferred alternative was selected for State Road 544. Due to the length and diversity of the roadway along this corridor, State Road 544 was divided into 8 evaluation segments. Segment 1 is from Martin Luther King Boulevard to Avenue Y, through the Florence Villa neighborhood. The preferred typical section in Segment 1 is the 3-lane typical section with the best fit alignment. It is slightly wider than the 2-lane alternative and will have minor right-of-way impacts with no residential relocations. The 3-lane typical section will provide additional safety and capacity for turning vehicles with the center turn lane. The graphics here illustrates the typical section with and without mid-block pedestrian crossings. The preferred improvement at the Martin Luther King Boulevard intersection is to maintain the existing traffic signal but add a new southbound right turn lane at the intersection. Improvements also include realigning the 1st Street Northwest intersection with State Road 544 farther away from the Martin Luther King Boulevard intersection. At Avenue Y, the mini roundabout with a 90-foot inscribed diameter is recommended. Unlike traffic signals, roundabouts ensure continuous traffic flow during power outages, reducing disruptions during events such as hurricanes. This concept will minimize impacts to the residences, businesses, and the church located at this intersection, while providing an opportunity for an entrance feature to the historic Florence Villa neighborhood, and a speed control for vehicles entering the neighborhood. Segment 2 is from north of Avenue Y to east of Lake Conine Canal. The 4-lane divided roadway is proposed with widening to the south side of the road. This alignment is recommended to avoid impacts to the Lake Conine wetland restoration area and due to the proximity of the road to Lake Conine and wetlands along the lake. This graphic illustrates the proposed 4-lane divided roadway typical section for Segment 2. Segment 3 is east of the Lake Conine Canal to east of the west end of Old Lucerne Park Road. The 4-lane divided roadway is proposed with widening to the north side of the road. This alignment is recommended to avoid impacts to existing residential developments on the south side of State Road 544 and due to the proximity of the road to Lake Smart and wetlands along the lake. The preferred alternative at the west end of the Old Lucerne Park Road intersection is to realign Old Lucerne Park Road to align with Vista del Lago Drive and to provide a roundabout at the intersection. Unlike traffic signals, roundabouts ensure continuous traffic flow, even during power outages, reducing disruptions due to events such as hurricanes. The roundabout will help with speed control along State Road 544 and improve safety by reducing crash severity when compared to the traffic signal option. Segment 4 is from east of the west end of Old Lucerne Park Road to east of Lucerne Loop Road. The 4-lane divided roadway is proposed with center widening. The preferred improvement at the Lucerne Loop Road intersection is a roundabout. Unlike traffic signals, roundabouts ensure continuous traffic flow even during power outages, reducing disruptions during events such as hurricanes. The roundabout will help with speed control along State Road 544 and improve safety by reducing crash severity when compared to the traffic signal option. Segment 5 is from east of Lucerne Loop Road to east of the Lake Hamilton Canal. The 4-lane divided roadway is proposed with widening to the north side of the road. This alignment is recommended to avoid impacts to the Lake Region Lakes Management District boat ramp and to the proposed Duke Energy transmission easement poles on the south side of the road. The preferred improvement at the east end of the Old Lucerne Park Road intersection is a roundabout. Unlike traffic signals, roundabouts ensure continuous traffic flow even during power outages, reducing disruptions during events such as hurricanes. The roundabout will also help with speed control on State Road 544 and to increase safety by reducing severe crashes when compared to the traffic signal option at this skewed intersection. Segment 6 is from east of the Lake Hamilton Canal to west of Brenton Manor Avenue. The 4-lane divided roadway is proposed with widening to the north side of the road. This alignment is recommended to avoid impacts to the Duke Energy transmission easement poles and existing commercial development on the south side of the road. The signalized through-cut alternative is recommended at the Lake Hamilton Drive intersection. This option includes realigning the 2 internal roads for the developments on the north side of State Road 544 so that they intersect State Road 544 in a single location at the north leg of the intersection. Segment 7 is west of Brenton Manor Avenue to La Vista Drive. The 4-lane divided roadway is proposed with widening to the north side of the road west of US 27 and to the south side of the road east of US 27. This alignment is recommended to avoid impacts to Duke Energy transmission easement poles that switch from the south side of the road to the north side of the road through the US 27 intersection. The preferred intersection improvement at Brenton Manor Avenue is a roundabout. Unlike traffic signals, roundabouts ensure continuous traffic flow even during power outages, reducing disruptions due to events such as hurricanes. The roundabout will help with speed control along State Road 544 and improve safety by reducing crash severity when compared to the traffic signal option. This intersection concept is paired with the recommended single-point urban interchange at US 27. The single-point urban interchange is a recommended improvement at the US 27 intersection due to the lower predicted life cycle crash cost with this concept compared to the Northwest Quadrant roadway with 3 signalized intersections. Segment 8 is from La Vista Drive to State Road 17. The reduced 4-lane divided roadway is proposed with center widening through this segment. This alignment is recommended to minimize residential relocations through this segment and provide access control with the raised median. The graphic shown here illustrates this typical section. The preferred concept for the State Road 17 intersection is a traffic signal with only improvements to the west leg of the intersection. Throughout this study, a no-build alternative is also considered. The no-build alternative assumes that no improvements are made to State Road 544 through the year 2045, except for routine maintenance. There are advantages and disadvantages to the no-build alternative. Advantages of the no-build alternative include no acquisition of right-of-way, no design, right-of-way, or construction cost, no inconvenience to the traveling public and property owners during construction, no impacts to utilities, and no impacts to the adjacent natural, physical, and human environment. Disadvantages include it is not consistent with the Polk County Polk TPO LRTP, where the widening of State Road 544 from Martin Luther King Boulevard to State Road 17 is identified in the cost-feasible plan. The no-build alternative does not improve multimodal mobility. It results in reduced levels of service and increased traffic congestion. The frequency of crashes may rise due to increased congestion. Emergency vehicle access is degraded, and user costs are increased due to increased congestion. The no-build alternative remains a valid option and will continue to be evaluated until the completion of this study. FDOT evaluated environmental and socioeconomic factors relating to proposed widening improvements in accordance with the National Environmental Policy Act of 1969 as amended, and other federal requirements. The evaluation considered the effects of widening State Road 544 on protected species and habitat, wetlands and floodplains, water quality, stormwater management and permitting, air quality, right-of-way requirements and relocations, contamination, archaeological and historical resources, recreational sites, noise, land use, construction effects, and farmland. Protected species and habitats are allowed special protection under the Endangered Species Act of 1973, as amended, and Florida statutes. FDOT assessed species within the project limits, and through ongoing coordination with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, has determined that the proposed project may affect, but is not likely to adversely affect, the existence of certain federally listed threatened or endangered species. The animal species include the eastern black rail, wood stork, Audubon's crested caracara, Everglades snailkite, and the eastern indigo snake. Additionally, the proposed project may affect, likely to adversely affect, the existence of certain federally listed threatened or endangered species. The animal species include the blue-tailed mole skink and the sand skink. In addition, the project designates no adverse effect anticipated for the following state-listed threatened or endangered species: the burrowing owl, little blue heron, tricolored heron, southeastern American kestrel, Florida sandhill crane, roseate spoonbill, gopher tortoise, Florida pine snake, and 14 state-listed plant species. Coordination with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service regarding the final status of these species is ongoing. A sand skink survey will be conducted during the design phase. If the preferred alternative is approved and is located within a tricolored bat consultation area, a bat survey will be conducted during the design phase. If the preferred alternative is approved by the Office of Environmental Management, FDOT District 1 will continue to work closely with environmental agencies in future phases, such as design and construction, to meet all environmental permitting requirements. FDOT evaluated wetlands within the project limits in accordance with Executive Order 11990, Protection of Wetlands. The proposed improvements will affect approximately 14.11 acres of wetlands and 2.66 acres of other surface waters. The department will take all practical measures to minimize harm to this area. The department will mitigate wetland impacts resulting from this project's construction to meet requirements of Florida statutes and the United States Code. The project has been evaluated for potential floodplain involvement in accordance with Executive Order 11988, Floodplain Management. There is no significant change in flood risk as a result of the proposed widening, and minimal impacts are expected to the 100-year floodplain, nor is there significant change in potential for interruption or termination of emergency services or emergency evacuation routes due to flooding. Results of the environmental contamination screening showed 3 sites were ranked high for potential contamination, 6 sites were ranked medium for potential contamination, and 30 sites were ranked low or no for potential contamination. For the sites that are ranked low for contamination, no further action is required at this time. For the sites with a risk ranking of high or medium, the FDOT project manager and the District Contamination Impact Coordinator will coordinate on further actions during the design phase that must be taken to address contamination issues. Before construction, specially trained crews will address contamination in these areas as required. Locations of these sites are shown on the concept plans on display tonight. The effects of traffic noise associated with the preferred build alternative have been evaluated in accordance with Title 23, Code of Federal Regulations, Part 772, and with the FDOT PD&E Manual, Part 2, Chapter 18. It was determined that construction of noise barriers at Winter Ridge Condominiums, Lake Point Landing, Lake Smart Estates, Brookhaven Village, Lake Rochelle Estates, Lake and Golf Estates, and near residences from Pomona Street to 5th Street South are a potentially feasible and cost-reasonable measure to reduce noise impacts to 62 impacted noise receptors. A commitment will be made to study this area further in the design phase. If you would like more information regarding traffic noise, please speak with our noise specialist at the Noise Information Table. The project team examined the project area for publicly owned properties that may be affected under Section 4F of the U.S. Department of Transportation Act of 1966. 7 Section 4F resources are present along State Road 544 within the project limits: the Lake Conine Boat Ramp and Fishing Pier, Lake Conine Recreation Area, Lake Fanny Boat Ramp and Fishing Pier, Florence Citrus Growers Association Historic District, 2208 Peninsular Drive, 128 Scenic Highway, and Alta Vista Elementary School. The recommended alternative will not require acquisition of land from the Lake Fanny Boat Ramp and Pier or the Lake Conine Recreation Area. One of the unavoidable consequences on a project such as this is the necessary relocation of families or businesses. On this project, we anticipate the relocation of 1 family, 5 businesses, and a storage structure related to 1 business. All right-of-way acquisition will be conducted in accordance with Florida Statute, Section 339.09, and the Uniform Relocation Assistance and Real Property Acquisition Policies Act of 1970, commonly known as the Uniform Act. If you are required to make any type of move as a result of a Department of Transportation project, you can expect to be treated in a fair and helpful manner and in compliance with the Uniform Relocation Assistance Act. If a move is required, you will be contacted by an appraiser who will inspect your property. We encourage you to be present during the inspection and provide information about the value of your property. You may also be eligible for relocation advisory services and payment benefits. If you are being moved and you are unsatisfied with the department's determination of your eligibility for payment or the amount of that payment, you may appeal that determination. You will promptly be furnished necessary forms and notified of the procedures to be followed in making that appeal. A special word of caution: if you move before you receive notification of the relocation benefits that you might be entitled to, your benefits may be jeopardized. The relocation specialists who are supervising this program are here tonight. They will be happy to answer your questions and will also furnish you with copies of relocation assistance brochures. In accordance with Rule 1497 of the Florida Administrative Code, the proposed improvements will include a median to control movements or access of turning traffic. These changes are presented in compliance with Section 335.199 Florida statutes, transportation projects modifying access to adjacent property. An evaluation matrix showing a detailed comparison of the preferred alternative and the no-build alternative is provided in the project handout and is also on display here this evening. The matrix shows potential effects to the social, cultural, natural, and physical environments and identifies preliminary costs. The estimated cost to widen State Road 544 from Martin Luther King Boulevard to State Road 17 include $24.5 million for final design, $658,000 for mitigation, $43.8 million for right-of-way acquisition for roadway and stormwater management areas. The total estimated construction cost for the project is $162.1 million. The cost for construction, engineering, and inspection is estimated at $22.2 million. The department's preliminary estimate of total project cost is $258.6 million. At this time, FDOT's adopted 5-year work program includes funding for Segment 1 from Martin Luther King Boulevard to Avenue Y for design in fiscal year 2025, right-of-way in fiscal year 2026 through 2028, and construction in fiscal year 2028. Funding for segments 2 through 8 have not been identified at this time. The department anticipates completion of this PD&E study by summer 2025. The study schedule is on display this evening. We encourage you to review project information tonight and provide us your feedback. There are multiple ways to provide comment. During the live in-person event, by completing a speaker card and handing it to anyone with a name tag during the upcoming intermission. Providing your comment to the court reporter at the comment table, by mail to the address shown on the screen, or by email or through the project website. All comments carry equal weight and should be submitted or postmarked by February 10th, 2025 to become part of the formal hearing record. All hearing materials presented tonight are available to the public on the project webpage and will remain posted for your review. The technical documents are also available for review in person at the Winter Haven Public Library, 325 Avenue A Northwest, Winter Haven, Florida, 33881, Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Friday and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., closed Sunday. And at FDOT's District 1 office, 801 North Broadway Avenue, Bartow, Florida, 33830, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. until February 10th, 2025, 10 days after the hearing. If you would like to review these materials at the District 1 office, please make an appointment by contacting FDOT's project manager, David Turley, using the contact information included in your handout. You may also visit the project website at www.swflroads.com/project/440-273-1 for the latest study information, schedule, and upcoming events. This PD&E study is being conducted and completed according to the requirements of the National Environmental Policy Act and other related federal and state laws, rules, and regulations, which will qualify future phases of this project for federal funding, and this hearing was advertised consistent with those requirements. Please see the statute display board for all other applicable requirements. This hearing is also conducted in accordance with the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990 and with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and related statutes. Anyone who feels he or she has been discriminated against with regard to race, color, national origin, age, sex, religion, disability, or family status may complete one of the forms located at the sign-in table and mail the completed form to the address listed on the poster board. And now an FDOT safety message.
There's a thin line between safety and tragedy. As soon as you see flashing lights, move over a lane or slow down 20 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. See lights? Move over, Florida. Brought to you by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles and the Florida Highway Patrol.
Thank you for your interest and participation in the State Road 544, Lucerne Park Road, Project Development and Environment Study public hearing, and for taking the time to join us this evening.